Welcome to Good Manufacturing Practices, Foundations for the Home Artisan and Crafter. This is Section 1, GMP Knowledge to Practice. I'm your instructor, Michelle Carmichael, co-owner of Zen Farms Botanicals. I am delighted to have you as a student. Please download the PDF to read along with this instructional video. The transcript of this video is located at the end of the PDF. This course is intended to kickstart your critical thinking by connecting your home operating platform to the GMP guidelines required for your GMP binder. And pictured here is our evolution of Zen Farms. And we started out as a small business formulating therapeutic natural products using hemp and CBD as an ingredient for topical products. Now, GMP requires that when you're starting out, your evolution of your home operating platform should be documented in your GMP binder over time. And the purpose of this course is to provide you with the directional knowledge towards implementing GMP to your platform, a challenge when starting out as a home manufacturer with no prior knowledge or awareness of GMP. But I will confess, a lot of it is common sense when making products. But the change in behavior that takes place developing deliberate practices and habit building, this change in mindset will be the most demanding of our time. My design thinking for this course is inspired by our knowledge and experience in constructing our first GMP binder for small batch product development and contract manufacturing out of our home. Now pictured here are signature products that did go to market from 2020 to 2021. Now, pre-COVID, we focused on using hemp and CBD as an ingredient in our natural products and procured a relationship with a farm-to-product dispensary owner. And during COVID, we were hacked, as many new small hemp businesses were, and remained on the Google blacklist for over a year. Now, that was an absolute nightmare. Now, we were lucky. We had no compromises, thank goodness. But there were some small businesses who lost everything, and then some who took complete advantage of the situation. So we restructured and eliminated hemp as our ingredient in our products, stopped manufacturing, and focused on coaching individualized wellness, implementing phytonutrition, and education. And I have branched out to develop our educational sector, Zen Farms Institute, to focus on adult STEAM learning for professional development. So thank you so much for enrolling into my course. Now our lab still remains our test kitchen for our future products, and we also keep our GMP binder current, although no physical products are out in the market. But when creating signature products in the R&D stages, you still have to meet the GMP guidelines and remain current by your documentation. Pictured here is the soxylate extraction of Spilanthes acmella, or the toothache plant, a learning process that was documented in the R&D section of our GMP binder. Now, my partner is the owner of Zen Farms Botanicals, and he's also a graduate student of herbal medicine and integrative health. So performing a soxylate extraction of herbs was part of his lab procedure for materia medica and pharmacognosy. Now, be advised by your state has specific regulations regarding herb extracting and distilling for home operators, students of herbalism, product developers, and for business. I cannot stress this enough. You need to know your state, federal, and international laws. You should print them out and include them in your GMP binder for accuracy and for current documentation. Cover all of your bases. Now, pictured here is the final result of our Spilanthes acmella extraction, which came out beautifully. Considering the diversity of student audience creator space and location, plus the complex nature of GMP, the foundational development for your GMP binder is covered in depth by sectional tabs in this course. Now, starting a GMP binder from scratch is not easy. There is a lot of detail that goes into it. And to be clear, this is not a course to be certified in GMP. That you will have to do on your own, which also requires a physical inspection of your operating platform for GMP certification. Now, since GMP is so vast, this course is not specifically focusing on GMP by industry guidelines per se, but I have compiled the core principles for constructing your GMP binder. In other words, how to begin the project logistically. So this is a project-based learning course, and your final deliverable is your GMP binder. But you will not submit your progress to me directly, since this course is not collaborative in nature. And this also means that each section of the course is broken down into bite-sized pieces for your optimal learning and understanding. Now, my intention is for you to grasp the core concepts of transformative learning that you will experience by the behavioral, emotional, and methodological changes that take place in our brains by learning GMP. And this course is heavily dependent upon self-regulated, individualized learning that will promote your intrinsic motivation, your engagement, not for an external reward, but to engulf in the learning by attaching meaning to your work, to explore new topics, and to persist in the face of challenge. Intrinsic motivation is a powerful tactic to use when learning complex topics and processes in a digital environment. Therefore, I've designed and structured this course by phases for your convenience and flexibility. But don't be shy. Reach out if you have any questions. I am here for your guidance throughout the process of your learning. I have provided you with external open source links and articles, instructional materials that I have created for you to use. Now, the links to these articles are evidence-based practices, and they align with the core concepts of each section. I specifically designed this course to direct you towards accurate information and understanding for portable outcomes. So download the PDF from each section. Each PDF is an extensive document of guided materials and the transcript of a video for you to use as references. You will have a short Q&A at the end of each section to test your understanding of knowledge and use the PDF as notes. Resources are provided for you to learn about the cognitive behavioral change that takes place when learning GMP, on how to create and maintain your state of flow in your work, and how to develop deliberate practices and apply constructive criticism. All of this is fundamental concepts of GMP. And this will give you the opportunity to build new habits by applying techniques of knowledge acquisition. Now, learning GMP is a heavy cognitive load to implement and integrate, especially for those who have no prior knowledge in GMP and for those who are novice to making products for the market. Now, evidence-based practices inspired by adult learning theories on flow states, growth mindsets, deliberate practices, cognitive bias, and objective criticism will be provided for a deeper understanding. So dive into these resources as they provide you with understanding the change of mindset that you will experience when implementing GMP into your operating platform. So you're probably wondering, how will I use this course to my advantage? Well, you will start by selecting a finished product that you made to showcase for your GMP binder. And this product will serve as your working model throughout the course and serve as an example for your future products to implement into your GMP binder. Now, by choosing a finalized product that you've made, you will visually understand the GMP process. This will be a tactile example for you to scaffold your learning as you construct your GMP binder. Now, each section will highlight core concepts for your learning development throughout this course. And every section in this course has its own personality, but it holistically unites together to provide you with an authentic learning experience. And since we're not covering every aspect of GMP, so to get started in understanding the fundamental components that GMP requires, your GMP binder tabs for this course will include Tab 1 is a summary page of who you are or your company, a brief history of your platform, and showcase an infographic of your final products for your binder, kind of like a product catalog. Tab 2 is master recipe and inventory supply cost spreadsheets. You will use a digital accounting software that fits the needs of your platform. Now, the basic example I discussed in Section 2 instructional video and in your PDF is in Excel, but originally created in Google Sheets. And since Teachable does not allow Excel files as a format for you to download, I will provide you with images of the content as an example in the instructional video. Now, continuing on, tab 3 is your standard operating procedures, or your SOPs, and that includes your SOP log and your specification sheets, or your spec sheets with your spec logs. And SOPs are your standardized processes, and that you develop by practice and repetition. It's highly detailed. Tab 4 is your storage sheets and your sample log and retained sample log sheets. This section is solely for your storage purposes only, but must be accurately documented to determine your shelf life for your products. Now lastly, tab 5 is quality control and internal audit sheets. Here is where you derive your quality control checklist and understand why GMP requires diligent protocol for internal auditing. Now, these 5 tabs will serve as your foundational development of your GMP binder, and you must keep your binder current to meet GMP guidelines. Okay, let's begin. Section 1, GMP Knowledge to Practice. As home artisans, crafters, and product developers, our test kitchens are our laboratories. To name a few products we create, they could be culinary creations, to formulate and produce natural products, to create therapeutic teas, to design enticing spice blends, and the list goes on. Now, the specific platform that you identify with and operate from requires good manufacturing processes, and that is your standardized protocol for the responsible accountability of practices. Now, this is your integrity and your ethical accountability of the products that you make out of your home. And your consumers will know that you stand for quality when it comes to your home operating platform and the care that you take not only in the ingredients you choose, but the ethical parameters that you follow. The importance of GMP is vital to product development for artisan and crafters that operate out of their home. It's a statement of quality, of integrity, of ethical responsibility regarding the making of your products and the ingredients that you choose. Now, I will state that choosing cheaper ingredients produces a cheaper product. Don't cut corners by pinching pennies. And I know we all have a budget, but your ingredients and materials, first and foremost, should be procured from a trusted vendor. Now, Amazon is wonderful, but do you really know if it's coming from the vendor and not from someone housing outdated herbs and materials and repackaging them to make a quick buck? I share this advice because we, like many, have learned the hard way. GMP requires that you must provide traceability of everything, so it is best to procure directly from the source for accuracy and for accountability for your responsibility. Now, the FDA changes its guidelines for home operating platforms on a regular basis. Keep track of this. This is especially important when using ingredients such as hemp or CBD, because specific guidelines and licenses are needed in the cannabis arena. Now, you need to pay special attention to when recalls are issued for your ingredients. Some recalls can go back as far as 6 months to a year from your date of purchase. So this is paramount to take note of. Now, check your supply chains and logistical delays. This can also cause you to pause production. And we all know about the inflation on the price of raw materials. So it's wise to locate a trusted vendor that you can create a wholesale account with. But purchasing in bulk also saves you money. Now, check for quality of your incoming ingredients and materials. If they're not met when you are returning items, this can also cause a lag in your production. Now remember, your GMP binder is your lifeline to the integrity of your products and the ethics that you stand for. Everything must be traceable right down to its origin. So the core concept of Section 1 is recognizing the separation from your home to your test kitchen, lab, or operating platform is crucial in applying GMP as a home-based artisan and crafter. Now, this is easier said than done. It takes dedicated discipline to keep both entities separated in a shared space. Now, this core concept is paramount for you to understand when you're starting out making products at home and when integrating GMP into your home. It's a heavy learning curve. Many do not follow it, and this is a fundamental concept for you to recognize. Now, this means that what you use in your home, you do not use in your operating lab to make products with. Everything must be separate. No sharing of materials, supplies, ingredients, utensils, tools, equipment, etc. Yes, this does get cumbersome. You must purchase and document ingredients separately, even if you have several sets of supplies sitting in your kitchen. Now, this is crucial that materials are not cross-contaminated from your home into your lab. Your protocol must be put in place and followed diligently. If you are to be inspected by GMP, you have to prove that your supplies and materials are specifically used for your product making only. This is vitally important. And you set the parameters and define the rules for your operating platform. A clear definition of where your home ends and where your operating platform begins. GMP is about facilitating deliberate practices and discipline in your operating platform. It is mechanical and methodological. It's a process that must be taken seriously. This is where the habit building we will discuss, the deliberate practices you will follow when you are in your lab. Although it's so easy to jump over into your kitchen and grab a utensil at the last minute, this is not accepted. Now, the beauty of GMP is its methodology. You will learn to embrace the mechanical side of yourself, to prepare before you create, to set up shop, to lay out your protocol, your ingredients, your materials, your equipment, etc. This needs to become second nature before you begin. Now, when starting out, remember that you are learning how to be and develop discipline in your operating platform. It is not a race. You will develop your process over time. Mistakes will happen. You will learn from your mistakes. Or, to quote Bob Ross, your happy accidents. Your mistakes and happy accidents are a teaching tool for you to use for a growth mindset. And your brain needs to be trained just like any other part of your body. So developing discipline and deliberate practices will turn into habit building when you are wearing your operating hat. So embrace the mishaps, the mess, and the process. This will definitely add to your expertise. Now, in a house full of chaos, you set the rules for when you make your products, the time and duration, and set a schedule so others are aware. This is especially important. You cannot make products when you are cooking dinner, and you definitely cannot make products if you have pets in the home or if you are hosting a party. Now, unless you're giving a demonstrative party on product making, and you must also document that in your GMP binder for your records. Now, your documentation also builds purpose of your products, your reasoning for hosting a demonstrative party, or why you are making products at 3 a.m., or why are you having to build your product in phases using various timestamps. Now, remember your GMP binder? That's your lifeline of your integrity, your ethics, and your traceability of ingredients, and that also validates your quality. Your final product is definitely worth this effort. Now, designated area for record keeping. Documentation is the bulk of GMP. You will write and take notes of your processes when you are making your products. You need to document everything, and that takes time. You need to be organized and be diligent about your order. Everything has a place. Your ingredients must be stored properly. Your materials and equipment must remain separate from your home. Now remember, your operating platform is an extension of your home, yet it is a separate entity. So define your boundaries. And your documentation will build a visual of your product. So when you read it, can you see your product? Not just its appearance, but its performance by its ingredients and by its properties. Now, your workstation for your record keeping must remain a space assigned for you to collect your thoughts, to get organized, and to lay out the paperwork for you to create order. So, as a project-based learning course, the best way to get started in your GMP binder journey is for you to complete an activity called Destination Postcard. Now, Destination Postcard is a directional mapping tool that's used in project-based learning to visualize a planning strategy towards transformative change. So you will use Destination Postcard to chart your navigation for your GMP binder. And since your showcase product is the working model for your GMP binder, you will use it tactfully, and it will scaffold your project's process from start to finish, and it will correspond to the section tabs in this course. Now, this allows you to locate the missing components of GMP to apply to your product's process and to your operating platform. Now, using a technique called identifying current assumptions, you will explain the reasoning behind the reasoning of your product's process. This allows you to take a step back and validate why you make your product the way you do, such as why do you choose your specific ingredients? Why does your recipe require your specific process? Why does your product packaged in that way? Why and where does your product have to be stored, etc.? Now, this exercise allows you to understand your process, and by using your showcase product for your GMP binder, you will visually be able to determine how you arrived at your finished product. Use the flow map as a guide for Destination Postcard. The flow map is provided in the PDF. Now, this allows you to gather all your product's materials and put them in order for your process and for your GMP binder. So to begin, first investigate GMP by your operating platform guidelines and identify your parameters. Then choose a finished product for your working model to use for your GMP binder. Second, assign a designated space for the construction of your GMP binder and gather your materials so you can perform your digital accounting transfer. You need to designate a workstation and a place for construction. Third, organize your product by the section tabs from the course. This will help you align your product to the flow of the course. And fourth, once you compile your product's information, do you see the pattern that it creates for GMP? What is missing? Take notes of your missing components. Now, lastly, your product is now outlined, your documentation is organized, and you've noted the missing components of GMP that you need to add to your binder. And directional mapping will help you to visually detect what is missing in your product's process. And using the strategy identifying current assumptions allows you to understand your design thinking for your products. Now, once your binder structure is in place and your showcase product has been dissected by the sectional tabs, you now have directional knowledge and preparation for the remaining tabs of this course. Now, this will allow you to visually construct your product's GMP process. And your GMP binder will grow and become more detailed by you adding more tabs and various subsections for your products and for your company. And GMP is vast and complex, so you need to do your research and you need to keep current to fit the needs of your platform. Now, there's also a certification for those who want to comply with current GMP or CGMP. And that aligns with you remaining current in your GMP operating over time. Now it's similar to good old GMP, but with much more detail. And that is it for Section 1, GMP Knowledge to Practice. Answer the questions at the end of this section using the PDF as notes. Now please reach out to me if you have any questions. I am here for you to help you through this process. This presentation was designed in Canva, and all of the audio and content was narrated and written by me, Michelle Carmichael. The images from slides 2 through 6 are property of Michelle Carmichael and Zen Farms Botanicals. Thank you so much. We'll see you in Section 2.